Geekenstein Media, and who am I here with?
Annette, I'm one of the community managers over at Harmonix.
And you guys are showing off Fantasia here at E3, which we just got out of the demo of, and it looks fantastic. Now, where did you guys come up with the idea to make a Fantasia game?
So we're actually known for making music games like Rock Band and Dance Central, which were hugely popular and went over really well. So it seemed like the natural fit to work on something like Fantasia. And it was actually Disney who approached us to see if we'd be interested in sort of trying to bring a new iteration of Fantasia and bring it back into like the current generation in an interactive space, which was something we were really excited to work on.
Now, you guys are making a Fantasia game, and you've managed to make it. It really feels like an evolution of the concept of Fantasia that Walt Disney pioneered. Now, was it difficult to not just want to do an interactive version of the movie?
Right. So I think Walt's original vision, which was something that the team spent tons of time researching and trying to really get what the idea was behind Fantasia and really sort of like bring that essence back into something more current. And the idea for Fantasia initially was it was supposed to be an evolving platform and something that would continue on over time as like music changed and evolved over the years to sort of like keep current. And so we wanted to sort of do some service there in terms of like grabbing music from current day, like some of the more contemporary stuff, and see how we can sort of create an adventure in color, sound, and motion, which is sort of what was the original thought for the film. And really, the way that the film did a really great job of putting sound and picture together, it was like the perfect marriage of things, of elements that like made music very accessible to people who watch the film. We kind of wanted to do the same thing with the game and give people the opportunity to like really interact and engage with the music and see and hear music in a way they might have never before.
Now, this is the first game I've ever seen you guys make that isn't just playing songs. What was it like to design the interactive vistas and stuff?
It's been really exciting for our team from a creative standpoint. So as you mentioned, like games like Dance Central and Rock Band were very much like simulation games where you sort of lived out your rockstar fantasy. If you wanted to learn how to dance, we gave you choreography and you would just perform the choreography. And this time around, it's sort of a little more open-ended where you can manipulate music and change the mixes of songs that you know and love, and it's something completely different and completely your own, which is really cool. And then you have these manipulator moments in songs where you can sort of reach out and touch the music and create your own samples that'll get laid into the progression of the song in a really cool way. So you sort of like everyone who plays will have their own unique mix, which is really exciting. That for us, for especially a lot of the guys at the studio who are musicians and know how to use the tools, they wanted to use this opportunity to give like tools to just the average person who might not have any really good ear for music to be able to make their own stuff and make it really accessible and fun.
And from a creative standpoint, what was it like going into these? I mean, you have modern songs too, but some like Bohemian Rhapsodies in the demo, like these classic songs, and remixing them into completely different styles.
Yeah, it's really cool to be able to mess around with different genres of music. So, like you mentioned, Bohemian Rhapsody you can sort of go down either like a really crazy '80s metal path, or you can go through a more symphonic mix and make it classical and hear, the song in a way you've never heard before. And it's really interesting to see like the different combinations you can go through. And throughout the game, a lot of different genres are represented. So while we do have contemporary music, we do have classical songs as well, including Night on Bald Mountain, which is part of Fantasia, the original film. So we have that, and it'll be interesting to see how that gets remixed, which is something we're really excited about as well.
Okay, you said Night on Bald Mountain, so I have to ask, with Fantasia, I mean, the movie gets kind of dark. Is the game going to get into that more spooky territory?
There's definitely a lot of the mood and the tone of the different realms in the game are all very different, and it's very similar to the vignettes in the movie where they sort of, from one vignette to the next, it was a completely different visual experience, even though like there's classical music across the board, but the visuals were very different, from like happy to really dark and scary. So there is some tonal shifts over the course of the game, and there's actually a narrative that goes along with the game where you're Yen Sid's new apprentice and you're going through the realms of Fantasia discovering new musical elements and interactions. And there are some levels that sort of can get a little strange. It can get some darker levels that you're hoping to bring back like light and color into, which is a really neat thing that we're not showing quite yet, but we'll definitely have more to show later.
So, what was it like designing the realms and stuff? Because I mean, like I said earlier, it's outside of Harmonix's wheelhouse. Like there's puzzles, there's like the recording toys. What was that like?
Well, I mean, I can't speak on behalf of the design team because I'm one of the community managers, but just seeing how they've been sort of like being able to really unleash their creativity too, in terms of trying something completely different and you know, with level design and interacting with puzzles and trying to find something really fun that still feels very much like the vignettes in the film, but has their own personal interpretation of how they would see Fantasia today, which is really cool for them.
Well, Fantasia looks amazing, and I can't wait to hear more about it and then play it when it comes out next year. So thank you so much for talking with us.
Thank you very much.